In this episode of Jacked or Juiced, we have an interesting dilemma. Borf mcsnorkle is a gentleman in his early 20s, and all his life, he's been getting brutally bullied. See, the problem isn't that he's ugly, he's actually quite attractive, and he's not short either. The problem is that everyday people do not think he's natural, implying that he's on steroids. This insult has been hanging over Borf's head his entire life. He's just too massive for normal people to believe he's natural. So today, we're gonna put it to the test. Is Borf mcsnorkle jacked or juiced?
Ever since I can remember, I've always been the biggest kid, whether on the playground or playing my favorite sport, football. I mean, at first it was cool because like all the other kids looked up at me, man. I was the big person, the coolest kid ever. All the girls wanted me. I was the fastest and strongest kid in elementary school. But ever since middle school, same things that made me stand out in elementary school and be the coolest kid, they were seen like it was a sore thumb. Kids have picked on me because of my abnormal size and hypertrophy. They call me names. Worst of all, like Shrek's younger brother, Flexi McFlabby.
I think I have on my notes here, it says, they used to call you Girthquake.
Listen, I thought I said we weren't going to talk about that.
Sorry.
Where was I? Oh, I started becoming extremely self-conscious, and I ended up quitting the football team because the kids were too ruthless, too mean for me. I mean, listen, I'm a very sensitive guy.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, I've always wondered what's wrong with me and why people pick on me just the way I look. Are they jealous because of my increased muscle mass, my strength, and my reduced body fat? Maybe I can understand the steroid allegations, but everyone has to remember, I'm 17. How can I possibly be on steroids? And just because somehow I have bigger muscle mass, just because I look different than everyone else, it doesn't mean my body is perfect. I'm really hoping that going on Jacked or Juiced will prove to everyone that I am natural. And then everyone will apologize for making fun of me my whole life.
Before we bring Borf to the set, we wanted to get everyday people's reactions to Borf's unnatural physique. Sir, can I get your reaction? Do you think this man is natural?
No way he's natural, what?
No.
No way. He's too jacked, he's too lean, too muscular to be like that. No.
Do you think this guy is natural?
Dude, he looks insane. This dude must not produce a protein that controls how much your muscles can grow or something like that.
Yeah, I think the protein you're thinking of is myostatin, which controls how much your muscles grow.
Oh yeah, myostatin. I remember learning about that somewhere, that the MSTN gene controls the amount of myostatin that is made. So maybe this guy has a mutated MSTN gene that doesn't produce myostatin. Therefore, his muscles can be much larger than the average person. I studied some bio in college, so I have some basic knowledge about it.
Do you think this 17-year-old boy is natural?
No, he's not natural.
So based on the people we interviewed, hardly anyone believes that Borf mcsnorkle is natural. But someone did make a good point that Borf might actually have a genetic mutation that explains his impressive hypertrophy. You must be Borf mcsnorkle.
I'm so happy to finally be able to get this test.
I'm so happy to finally see you. I've been looking forward to testing you ever since Chad told me about you.
Why's that? Do you think I'm on steroids too?
No, of course not. I just think you might have a mutation in your DNA.
What do you mean?
I mean that your DNA could have a point deletion nonsense mutation, which could explain your unnatural muscle growth.
How does that affect my muscles?
Mutated DNA affects the way transcription and translation take place. Normally, transcription happens inside the nucleus. It's when your DNA gets copied to mRNA because DNA can't leave the nucleus or else it will be destroyed and everything will die. Instead, we have an enzyme called helicase, which comes in here and unzips the DNA, and the RNA polymerase comes in after and comes in and builds a complementary strand of RNA following the base pairing rules. This means adenine pairs with uracil because it's RNA, and cytosine still pairs with guanine. You can see here in my diagram, the orange represents the nucleus, and the green is the RNA polymerase moving in the 5' to 3' direction, while the helicase comes in first and breaks the hydrogen bonds and unzips the DNA.
I'm not sure I completely understand.
This, to think of it in simpler terms, is like transcription is like going to the gym with obviously the goal of building muscle. And the gym owner has a massive book that is filled with detailed workout plans, and the gym owner is like the DNA and has all the information needed to make the gym run smoothly and all the workouts, but it needs to stay safe inside his office or the nucleus, because it'd just be crazy if he was out everywhere and everyone was asking him questions. Instead, when the athlete, or in our case the cell, needs a specific routine, a personal trainer comes into the office, which is like the helicase breaking and unzipping the DNA, and our RNA polymerase comes in and copies down the specific workout onto the mRNA.
Okay, so if that's transcription, then what's translation?
So translation is what happens after transcription, and it's when the mRNA is finished copying genetic information, it leaves the nucleus and heads into the cytoplasm. Translation is what happens when proteins are building, and the mRNA attaches to a ribosome, which reads the nitrogenous bases in groups of 3 called codons. So you can see here, we've got our codons down here, and it's attached to the mRNA, which is going this way. You got the tRNA carrying the anticodons and the amino acids coming together here. And the tRNA comes and complements the mRNA, which just means, again, the A goes to the U, the C goes to the G, like normal. tRNA brings the amino acids and pairs the anticodons, following the base pairing rules. The tRNA brings over the correct amino acids, like you can see here. It's bringing over thymine, and then ribosomal RNA, which is part of the ribosome, which is represented by this green part here. It helps the amino acids link together with the peptide, and you can see that here in between the already connected form of the amino acids. And this process would just keep going on and on until a stop codon is reached, which signals the end of translation and obviously doesn't bring over more amino acids because it's stopping. And the multiple amino acids together form a polypeptide chain.
Oh, I think I can make an analogy for this. Translation is like a gym workout routine. The mRNA is represented as the workout plan that you are following and has all the detailed instructions on the workout. The ribosomes are represented by a personal trainer, reading the plan out to you as you work out and making sure each movement or the codon is correct. tRNA is someone in the gym handing you the weights or the amino acids. The amino acids are the weights, and just like lifting weights in a specific way that makes the muscles grow, the various combinations of amino acids can make different proteins, leading to different traits. The finished chain of amino acids is like the healthy body that you have created after working out. The amino acids are ready to help the body work out properly. So if my DNA is mutated, it would mess up the information that the mRNA would copy. Therefore, in translation, the codons wouldn't match with the correct anticodon, which would completely change the amino acid sequence.
You hit the nail on the head with that one, borf.
So you're going to test me to see if I'm on steroids, and also if I have a mutated gene?
Yeah, I'll test you when you come into my office next week.
I know for a fact that I don't use any type of steroid, and Dr. Brent Peterson excited me with his hypothesis. If I have the mutated gene, I can finally learn about myself and my condition.
It all comes down to this. In my hands, I have the answer to everything. What's in this bottle will either make or break borf mcsnorkle. Is he a natural with mutations to his MSTN gene, or has he been lying to everyone his entire life? Borf's whole life has been haunted by whatever's on this paper. He's been bullied ruthlessly throughout middle school and high school, isolated by all his peers, and even his teachers make fun of poor Borf. We have brought all of Borf's bullies from school into the studio today, and they can all get a live viewing of if Borf is jacked or juiced. We first need to educate the audience on what your mutations are.
Well, that's perfect. We're studying mutations in school right now. Mutations are changes in DNA.
You're correct. But do you know how they occur?
Well, they can be inherited from parents, or they can be acquired from like environmental factors, like too much sun, like you get too much UV rays.
Correct again. You must be studying hard. Dr. Brent Peterson's theory is that Borf has a point deletion nonsense mutation, which pretty much a point deletion mutation is where a nucleotide or multiple nucleotides are deleted. Then this is called a frameshift mutation, which shifts the 3 nucleotides that make up a codon. In Borf's case, This shift calls for a stop codon way too early, which we call a nonsense mutation. So the gene that codes a borf myostatin gene is missing a few nucleotides, which accidentally codes a stop codon too early.
Mutations can be harmful, beneficial, or even neither. They could range from cancer to different eye colors or even disease prevention. Come on.
I think they might want to know the results of the test. Borf mcsnorkle, are you ready? In the case of borf mcsnorkle, that he's a natural after all. He has a mutation to his MSTN gene that doesn't code for myostatin correctly. The process of transcription and translation has been messed up because of the mutation of DNA. He did it!